I need you to tell us why.
People know I don't go everywhere. I'm not interested in talking to people unless it's like a Larry King or somebody of an amazing ilk that I would actually want to go talk to in real life.
Okay.
I don't do it so I can sell product, and I got things to sell, so let me come talk. You have a great product here, and as a fan base, we love the attention that you spend on the guests. We love how much work you've done, how well you know them, how prepared you are. The same things that we liked about you in football. You brought that on over to here, and that's why it resonates. And the reason I had to come is because you made a safe place for the truth to be told.
Do it again. Say all that again, baby.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Club Shay Shay. I am your host, Shannon
Come on now, put them damn cards down and read all that again. Oh, brother, thank you. Thank you.
When we stop by, I want to toast you for your amazing, amazing career. Not only in front of the camera, but behind the camera and your stand-up career. Monique, thanks for stopping by today.
Thank you for having me, brother Shay Shay.
Thank you.
Club Shay Shay is more than just a club. It is now a platform for comedians to speak their truth, or so it seems. During her recent appearance on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay podcast on February 7th, Monique talked about her encounters with Kevin Hart and other notable Hollywood celebrities, revealing the toxicity she has been floating in for years.
We've been taught to say trauma is okay. We've been taught to say you mistreated me, you abused me, you violated me, you disrespected me, you belittled me, but I'm supposed to look at you at Thanksgiving and say, how you doing, That's what we've been taught. You swallow that pain. That's why people have such a problem with Cat Williams. People have a problem with people that says, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth. And that causes a ruckus, and you would say, why are people upset with the truth? When you hear Steve Harvey say, there are repercussions when you tell the truth. Well, remember when we were children? What would your grandmother tell you?
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth, because if not, there will be what? Repercussions.
Right.
Well, now it's got turned around. When you tell the truth, there'll be repercussions. So what's the opposite of that? Should I tell a lie and get a reward? So that's how we're rolling right now. That's how we're dealing with one another right now. So when it comes to family and people saying, oh, Monique, how could you? Listen, I want to live the rest of this journey that I have in peace, because you family, that I should accept that trauma. I should accept you not taking accountability for what you've done, what you've said, and we just washed the slate. That's why we're in the position we are now as a community, as a Black community, as a community in entertainment. Everybody's been so afraid to say, look what they did to me. Look what they said. And it's like, oh, well, listen now, we don't want to ruffle no feathers, especially if the messenger doesn't fit.
As per recent claims made by Monique, Kevin Hart has acted as a catalyst in her being shunned by Hollywood and its A-listers, despite the talent she holds.
Kevin Hart. Now, you know when Cat Williams said gatekeepers?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, I do his podcast.
Yes.
And I want y'all to re-listen to the podcast so you can hear it for yourself. When he first comes on, he says, you're like my mother, you're like my aunt, you're like my sister. Okay? Then we do the podcast. We speak about the Tyler Perry situation. Oprah Winfrey, he said, I don't really know Oprah, but I'm gonna reach out to Tyler. Endemol says, we just got a call from Kevin Hart's manager, Dave Becky. And Dave Becky said, Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique. So whatever she told y'all, he doesn't want to do anything with her, nothing. You know, he doesn't want any kind of relationship with Monique.
So what changed between the 2 weeks and plus he gave you a check, you gave the money back, then said he would partner with you, executive produce, whatever you need, Mo, hey, we got you. So what transpired, or what do you think transpired between then, that two week period?
Well, soon as we got off the phone and they told us what Kevin's manager, David Becky, said, I called Kevin Hart immediately. I said, hey, baby, we just got off the phone with Endemol, and they said Dave Becky called them up and said, you don't want anything to do with me.
Take a look. Now, Monique's stance on the situation, which was recently discussed on the Club Shay Shay podcast, provides quite a valuable insight into the nature of her relationship with Kevin Hart, and generally how Hart is as a person.
Now let me say that before we go any further, because I want to make sure I give Kevin Hart his proper credit. When my family was up against the wall, Kevin Hart wrote us a check and said, here you go. We're forever grateful for that. When we were able to give it back, we said, brother, we appreciate you with some interest on top, because I don't ever want nobody to think, me and my husband. So I want to make sure I put that out there. That brother really helped us out when we needed to be helped out. Then when he came back with, I got you. I didn't ask Kevin Hart to do anything. He said, I'll executive produce, I'll partner with you. I said, good Kevin, because we're in a deal with Endemol, and we're trying to get our talk show back. Mo, whatever it is, I got you. Now, Kevin Hart is one of the biggest entertainers right now in the world, right? And was then. We got off the phone with Kevin Hart. We called Endemol immediately and said, Kevin Hart said, whatever we want to do, he got us. He's going to partner, executive use. They was like, oh, this is incredible, because when you put Kevin Hart's name on it, you already know what it is.
Correct.
For one, Monique claims that Hart had initially demonstrated his support for her by providing help in the form of financial assistance when she was in need of it, and that regarding her alleged blacklisting from Hollywood, Hart indicated that he had discussed the topic with Tyler Perry, and he stated that he would be willing to assist Monique in reviving her talk program. But during their conversation, it is said that Hart gave Monique the assurance that they would be able to move past any problems that had occurred in the past and work together on future projects, where his offers included collaborating with her, serving as an executive producer alongside her, and providing support for her projects in any capacity that she required. Monique, on the other hand, asserts that Hart, despite the fact that he had promised to keep his word, eventually distanced himself from her with the assistance of his manager, Dave Becky. According to Monique, Becky communicated to her team that Hart wanted nothing to do with her, essentially putting an end to any potential collaboration that may have taken place between both companies. As was to be expected, Monique was left feeling dissatisfied and betrayed as a result of this alleged betrayal by Hart and his team. This resulted in a 2-year hush between the two comedians. Then again, a fascinating counterpoint to Monique's previous comments on Club Shay Shay is provided by her participation in Kevin Hart's Comedy Goldmines podcast in the year 2021. You see, Hart addressed Monique in a warm and friendly manner on the program. He referred to her with fondness, calling her a friend, family member, an auntie, a mama, and a spirit. Of course, Monique doesn't care about that now.
What people should think the messenger is supposed to look like.
Right.
And we keep repeating history, Shannon.
Is it a situation, Monique, where people look and say, well, you made it thus far, well, it couldn't have been that bad? Because if it has been as bad as you say it is, Monique, how would you have ever gotten out of B-More? How would you have ever gotten into Hollywood? How would you ever have a talk show? How would you ever be on a sitcom? So how is it that bad, Monique, and you end up like this?
You know when you first got in the NFL?
Yes, ma'am.
Your eyes were like this.
Yes.
And it was, oh, I made it, I'm here.
Right.
And then after you start getting in it, and you started seeing things, and you started feeling things, and now your eyes start getting a little closer, because now you're understanding what the business is.
Right.
So when you first walk through the door, you're walking through the door saying, come on, baby. Oh, this is all I've ever prayed for. And when my baby Cat Williams sat here and said, no one's ever gone out to LA and got a sitcom like that. I was in LA for 3 months, and here comes a show called The Parkers. And there we go from there. It took off from there. So I think that when people say if it was so bad, you mature. You begin to understand what you're dealing with.
Right.
You begin to understand what you're in the midst of. And once you understand it, is when you can speak on it.
Right.
But before you really know what you're looking at, how do you speak on that?
Right.
Because when you first walk in the door of Hollywood, you have everybody telling you, oh my goodness, you're gonna be amazing. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be incredible.
That is all you know.
Yes.
But you're so happy to be here.
Yes.
And you're like, okay.
When I listen to your story, you say dirt poor,
Yes.
bathroom outside.
Yes.
It was, we had to make it work however we can make it work.
Correct.
And then you get that first big check.
Yes.
and you think the people that gave it to you is awesome because they gave it to you. And it's more money than you've ever seen before until you find out this ain't the right money. This ain't the right amount. Wait a minute. If they got this, why am I getting this? Then you start putting the pieces together and you start saying, it's not right and I'm going to speak about it.
Meanwhile, Monique also voiced her well-known criticisms about her interactions with Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, and Lee Daniels, as well as the difficulties she had while on the promotional tour for Precious. So, if you thought Hart was the only individual on the comedian's radar, think again.
So Tyler Perry says to me, listen, Monique, we really need you to, promote this film because if you get nominated for the Oscar, your next movie is going to be $3 to $5 million. If you win it, your next movie is $6 to $8 million. I said, Tyler Perry, who you talking to? I'm a black woman. When they gonna pay that kind of money? No, I'm telling you, that's what it is. And if you just go and promote it, I said, listen, brother, you can pay me to promote it, because at the time, now him and Oprah are producers on the film.
Right.
I said, you can pay me to do it. I don't care where the check come from, but y'all just gotta pay me to do it. He said, I'm not in the habit of giving out money for free. I said, and I'm not in the habit of working for free. But you gave T.D. Jakes a check for $1 million, but that's another story, and I'm back. So when he then says that, it's like, listen, we both mutually agree. You don't give out free money, I don't work for free.
Service.
We hugged, Shannon. When we were done talking, we hugged. Do you hear me?
Yes.
We hugged like brother and sister, like it's cool, he understands.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
Oprah Winfrey calls my husband. I want y'all to take your time, because I'm getting ready to go into
That's your camera right
Yeah,
there.
because the people at home, they sitting there like, Monique, what happened? I'm getting ready to tell you. She calls my husband.
Okay.
My husband explains to her what's going on. She says, there have been times I've had to draw the line in the sand. So my husband said, well, what is different between you and Monique? You've got to draw the line, and you're saying when you know they're asking you for too much. She said, you're absolutely right, and I understand your position. You're right in the position you're taking. So when you're looking at me saying, well, what happened? I'm telling you what happened.
But, okay, she's saying that privately, but did she voice that publicly?
Did you hear her say it?
I didn't.
Did you hear her say it? JT, did you hear her say it?
No.
Zach, did you hear her say it, Zach? Regina, did you hear her? Tommy? No one seemed to hear that publicly. She said that privately. Now, when she said that, see, everything we're saying to you, it can be proven. She had him on speakerphone. And that when she was talking to him, in that room was a man named Reggie Wells, who just passed, who used to be Oprah Winfrey's makeup artist, who he had a conversation with me and my husband. Now, for you babies that's good with the little internet, we had a show on called Monique and Sydney Finding a Way to Be Unoffended. Finding a Way to Be Unoffended. Reggie Wells is on that show speaking about Oprah Winfrey. Reggie Wells said, Monique, I was there that day. He said, and when y'all got off the phone, I looked at her and said, why don't you just pay this woman the money? She deserves it. And she looked at him and said, I won't be paying her nothing. And he said, that's not right, and you know it's not right. Now, that man shared that on that show, so I'm not saying nothing that hasn't been shared. So you have people that will say things in private, but won't do it publicly.
And honestly, Monique's current assertions are given more weight as a result of her constant storytelling across both platforms, her previous interviews, and her recent appearance on the podcast, which suggests that there is a pattern of mistreatment and discrimination inside the industry, especially against Black women.
Everybody is coming, and I don't have a problem. I'm glad.
Yes.
But if you said this a decade ago, and I remember you saying it over a decade ago, why didn't it get the traction? Why didn't it get the support? Why wasn't it propped up when Monique said it?
I think there's a few reasons why. Number one, it was the messenger. I should just be grateful I got invited to the party. You a big, fat Black woman. How dare you be the one? And then on top of that, you're saying names. You're saying Oprah's name out loud. You're saying Tyler's name out loud. You're saying Lee's name out loud. You're saying Lionsgate out loud. That's not what we do. We say they. We say the people. We say the studio. We say the producers. How dare you actually say our heroes' names?
You're very specific.
These are our heroes. How could you say their names out loud? Because they're the ones that did it. And if I don't say it out loud, now you see a woman that is swallowing that pain, that is so stressed out. Then you see our sister Taraji P. Henson sit on that platform. And I love that baby because she's a beautiful spirit. But to see her that broken, what our community was saying was, we have a hard time, some of us, we have a hard time seeing a strong black woman with a back straight and a chin up and a strong black man standing by her side. We have a hard time accepting that, but we can accept seeing a black woman broken. Now it's really serious because she's falling apart. Our community had a hard time with those two things. So when you hear black women saying we're the most undervalued, disrespected, underserved, mistreated, violated, exploited, we get all of that. Then you see a black man standing with his black woman saying, not on my watch. And you hear some black men saying, why her husband gotta be there? We're in a sad state of affairs when we begin to question.
Not to forget, the fallout from Monique's interview on Club Shay Shay, in addition to Cat Williams' prior participation on the same platform, has sparked polarized reactions and divided perspectives among fans. Both the episode featuring Cat Williams, which has already amassed 57 million views on YouTube, and the episode starring Monique, which has amassed 4.1 million views within just one day of its release, are examples of the toxicity that floats quite openly within Hollywood. You see, Cat Williams' comments on Kevin Hart's career success at comedy clubs threw gasoline to the fire, further intensifying the argument that has been going on regarding Hart's reputation inside the industry, and that with Monique. Not to mention the fact that Monique's complaints against Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry were also brought to the forefront during her appearance on Club Shay Shay. In 2010, she voiced her profound dissatisfaction and feelings of betrayal surrounding Winfrey's choice to invite members of her family with whom she had a strained relationship, including her brother, who had admitted to sexually abusing her. According to Monique, this action violated a fundamental barrier that was established by the trust and allegiance of the family.
This woman has overstepped with me in so many ways that somebody would say, if we wasn't Monique and Oprah Winfrey in the entertainment business, and we was Monique and Oprah Winfrey that worked at Costco, I see you in the break room. I see you at your cash register. Because she's overstepped.
Wow. So, I don't know, Monique, and this might be the term crossing of the Rubicon. We might be going too far. If you feel that way, because clearly if you feel this way. Now,
Yes.
I get why you feel this way. I don't know, like I said, I don't know this. I'm taking you at your word. Now, not the Tyler, because
Yes.
I've listened to the audio.
Yes.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about Oprah.
Yes.
I'm just taking you at your word.
Yes.
If you feel this way, is it possible she feels the exact same way about you?
How could she? How could she? What have I taken from Oprah? When did I have Oprah's mother and father on my show? When did I have anybody come and speak about Oprah Winfrey on the Monique show? That's never happened, so how could she feel that?
Would you have done that?
Had her family on?
Yeah.
Let me tell you how we operate. When we had the Monique show, there was a comedian on there. And he was trying to joke T.I.'s wife, Tiny. My husband walked out in the middle of his set. He said, cut. He said, brother, we don't do that here. We uplift our folks. We don't play that. When Oprah Winfrey had my family, and I'll tell y'all, and I'm looking around, baby, because there are people here.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't want to be rude to the people at Shay Shay's club. You got other people in the club, right? When Oprah Winfrey called me up, and she said, I got a call from your brother. And this is after I won the Oscar award, right? And your brother wants to come on the show, and he wants to apologize to you for molesting you. And he wants to tell other people how to look out for a predator.
Right.
I said, Oprah, I said, I don't want anything to do with that cat. I said, and then she said, well, if you want me to scratch the show, I will scratch it. I said, sis, don't scratch it because he could be a different person. And I don't want to get in the way if that cat is a different person. I just don't want no parts of it.
Right.
okay? When I hung up that phone, Shannon, I was like, I appreciate that sister. Like, she didn't have to call me. She didn't have to call me and say, I'm gonna have your brother.
Right.
I start seeing commercials with my mother and my father and my other brother who used to be my manager, who knew the fear that I had with the brother that was up on stage, right? We never talked about my mother being there.
She never told you that.
You know how you feel about your grandparents?
Yes, absolutely.
You know the honor and how you speak about them? Imagine you then seeing your granddaddy and your grandmama on a show, and they're talking about somebody that violated you, and that woman didn't tell you that they were gonna be there. How would you feel?
I would feel like you felt betrayed.
That is exactly how I felt and how I feel.
Meanwhile, when it comes to Tyler Perry, Monique has accused him of circulating false accusations about her being difficult to collaborate within the entertainment industry. She stated that she had recorded evidence of Perry admitting to these behaviors, which gave the impression that it was not just her word against his.
When we begin to question Black love and Black unity, so they didn't want to hear me, some of them, because of what I look like, because I spoke about their heroes, and because they saw that man standing right there strong.
Did they question the validity? Because we had never seen this before. Not so public, not so present.
Yes.
Did they question you and his relationship?
Me and my husband?
Yes.
When you say question,
But it's like,
because they did, but I want to understand what
because, okay, did they think that was your husband, or what? Was he your manager? Because he's been everything.
Yes.
He's your lover, he's your manager, he's your confidant.
Name him.
He's the father.
Come on, name him.
Whatever he's all encompassing.
Yes.
He's a toolbox with all the tools that Monique needs.
All of them.
And so when I heard people saying that, why is he there? Why does he have to be in every interview? Why does he have to be in the background? Why can't Monique do that? Why not?
Why not? Why not? And that's when you see, and these are my sisters, but when you see Taraji, when you see Viola, when you see our sisters speaking out, you never see their representation sitting right there with them.
Currently, she has requested that Shannon Sharpe, the host of Club Shay Shay, confirm the validity of the discussion that was recorded with Perry, asking him to come to the podcast and apologize to her publicly. That's all for today. Do you think Perry and Oprah will be visiting Shannon soon? Let us know in the comments below. For more updates, hit the bell icon.